What you guys got another video on why Windows security updates are so important. So many times I hear people say about Windows updates and how they're not important, and they're running Windows XP or Windows 7 and they don't have any Windows updates or security updates, and they've never been hacked or been infected, and they don't even have an antivirus program. This is all complete nonsense, of course. It's critical to install Windows security updates to protect your computer from malicious attacks. In the long run, it's also important to install software updates, not only to access new features, but also to be on the safe side in the terms of security loopholes being discovered in outdated programs or even unpatched software like Windows. If you look here, this was a major update from Microsoft, which they rolled out on July 2023. There was a massive amount of updates, as you can see, and this is all part of the Microsoft Patch Day, where they release patches for all of their operating systems like Windows 10, Windows 11 and Windows Server versions. This is to fix all of the security flaws that have been found, or holes or backdoors or loopholes that people have found from security companies, and they've obviously give this to Microsoft and then they patch them. There's remote code exploits here, which are really serious. And again, if you're not getting patched or updated like Windows XP and Windows 7, then you're going to be vulnerable. Now, you may be thinking, hold on a second, this is terrible. And why doesn't Linux get all of these problems? Well, it actually does. It's just the fact that they haven't got the manpower that Microsoft have to find the flaws. There was actually security companies that released a document not long ago to show you all the flaws and exploits that Linux had, and there was quite a lot of them. Now, I would imagine that because of the amount of manpower and also money that Microsoft have invested in their operating system, they're going to find this sort of stuff on a regular basis and patch it. Whereas something like Linux has got such a small user base and probably doesn't have the amount of money or clout behind it, security flaws like these could lie undetected for many, many years or even many months. And it's important to remember Microsoft's user base is massive. It really is. And they're rolling these checks and these fixes out every single month to try to catch up with some of the flaws that are being found or loopholes that they can use to gain access to the operating system. And Microsoft are patching these all the time by using security companies to find these flaws. And this one is about how Microsoft banned hundreds of signed malicious Windows drivers from their list, and this is because a lot of these were containing malware and they had fake timestamps, and this is on the rise apparently, how to bypass the Windows protection. And this whole article talks about the driver policy loopholes, which allows signature timestamp forging, and this is a big problem, and Microsoft have weeded out a load of them and found hundreds of drivers that were exploiting this. And of course, these are classed as malware. So it's important that you have all of the right security features enabled on your PC to keep your PC from being hacked or being breached by these exploits that are being found all the time. So one of them I see a lot of people telling people to disable is in this area right here, where people will talk about FPS and telling people to disable the memory integrity and also the Microsoft vulnerability driver block list. These security features are there to help block drivers from security vulnerabilities from running on your device, and also prevent attacks from inserting malicious code into the system. So really, these are designed to protect you. And when people tell you to turn this sort of stuff off, it's just crazy. You really want to block a lot of malware, and this will block 60% of malware that was commonly infecting Windows-based systems when it was Windows 7 and things like that. So this is really important. It's also important to read about what this is. Core isolation provides added protection against malware and other attacks by isolating the computer processes from operating systems and devices. And you can read all this information on Microsoft's website, including the memory integrity is a feature of core isolation. By turning the memory integrity setting on, it will help prevent malicious code from accessing processes on your system. Also, the security process here, you can see this one right here. This also helps protect you. Secure boot is another one I see people turning off, and this will help rootkits and things like that to block those from running on your computer. So it's important that you leave these security features enabled. Another one we talk about, which is TPM 2.0, which caused a lot of controversy because these were the requirements for Windows 11. And again, these are here to help protect you in the future. And again, these will help protect your system from malware. So these all linked together are going to end up protecting Windows. Now, people always complain about how Windows is easy to infect and all this sort of stuff. And when Microsoft make changes to improve the security, then people obviously want to turn it all off, which doesn't make any sense. Here's another security feature which is turned off because you need to have a fresh install of Windows to have it turned on. But if Smart App Control is on, this also helps with malicious and untrusted applications from running on the system. So you won't be able to enable this feature unless you do a fresh install of Windows, and then it will be enabled by default. But Smart App Control is another layer of security which you can add to your system to keep you running safe. You can see here I'm running ESET on my computer here. It doesn't stop me from enabling this feature, which is Microsoft Defender's antivirus options. This will use it as a periodically check for threats. So I can have best of both worlds here and enable this feature and have double the protection really from this. And it's not running two antivirus programs on the system. This is doing periodic checks with this as well as ESET. And again, you're really giving yourself the maximum protection on Windows. I've also got a very good firewall and a very good antivirus program on here in ESET Internet Security. And for all those people saying it impacts performance and it impacts FPS and all this sort of stuff, I don't know where they're getting all this from, because I use my computer and I play games and I don't have any issues with all of this security features turned on. So it's important you also keep your software updated, and Patch My PC is another piece of software you can use to make sure all of your security updates are done for your actual software, because leaving those outdated or using old versions of software can leave vulnerabilities on your PC. So it's important to make sure all of the software is updated on your PC. And remember, if anyone is telling you don't need antivirus software, or you don't need to update Windows and you don't need to do any of this sort of stuff and you can use outdated software and it's perfectly safe, they are mistaken. As you can see here, the amount of updates available just in this month alone is absolutely massive for just Windows 10 and Windows 11 and Windows Server. So bear that in mind. If you're not getting any updates anymore, you are vulnerable and you are a sitting duck basically. And Linux is no different. They will have their own flaws and their own patches that need to be done for their operating system. They're not immune to any of this stuff either. So it doesn't really matter what operating system you use. You still need to update your security updates and have these patches released for your operating system to make sure that you're running a safe OS. Anyway, I think that's going to be about it for this video. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Quick shout out to my YouTube members, whether you're tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3. I really do appreciate the support. I shall catch you in the very next video, or I'll see you on the Discord server for a chat. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.